Hello everybody, my name is Kirankumar Menderkar. Welcome to my channel 20 Years, 20 Stories. On this channel, I share some of my experiences in a form of stories, and hopefully I'm expecting and anticipating that this will also help you in your professional journeys. So this is my story number 4. On this story, I'm going to share you how accepting and acknowledging your mistakes is going to make a huge difference in your career as well as in winning some brownie points. So about 6 years into my professional journey, I was working for a healthcare IT customer. And being in healthcare IT, as you all know, whatever you do on the software has a very direct impact on the patient life. So, and also during this process, we were working for one of the most difficult customer. What I mean by difficult customer is that they always asked us double questions. We had to prove a lot of documentation, strict audit process, as well as always go above and beyond to show what you were doing was the right thing. So this was the current context in which I was working, and one fine day I had to log in into their production environment to do some testing. And as we all know, we always have a test patient in production that we should be using. I don't know what was going wrong with me on that fine day. I used a live patient and I started testing. About 30 minutes into this journey of testing, I realized that I have done some grave mistake. Look at the situation and what was at stake. I have used a live patient. That means whoever is going to diagnose this patient is going to look at all this data, and it can impact the diagnosis of the patient, right? The second one is my job is at stake. If I tell somebody that I have done this mistake, probably I could be thrown out of my job. The third one is the complete customer could take away this contract, leading my business unit at a very huge financial loss. Now I had to do the right thing. So I called up my manager and I told him that, hey, Mr. So-and-so, I have done this mistake. What do you recommend? He asked me the question as to what do you think is the first step? So I told him that I'm going to call the customer and tell him this problem, and he asked me to go ahead. So I called the CMIO at the hospital and I told her that, hey, I have used this particular live patient and I've done these things as a wrong thing, which I shouldn't be doing. But can you please, as a first step, ensure to clean up this patient, and any diagnosis that is currently ongoing on this patient, stop it for a few minutes until all the things are getting cleaned up. So the next 2 hours were one of the most difficult times in my professional journey, because I kept praying that nobody should have done anything wrong on this particular patient. So after a couple of hours, the customer called and let us know that they have cleaned up the patient and nothing wrong has happened to him and everything is fine. Now, that gave me a breathing space, but now we had to deal with a very difficult customer. So for the next 2 weeks, I had to get involved deeply into RCA, set up new audit process, and then double the documentations and regulatory authority processes that were there and stuff like that. But the good part was we were able to identify some of the grave process gaps that we were having and also fix them, not just for this customer, but also for many other customers that we were working with. But the good part, this is what happened. This customer started believing us more. They started trusting us that we were doing the right thing on their account. We were doing the right stuff while working with them, and they started trusting us. They also ended up being our reference customer. And they, in 6 months' time, they also renewed our contract and gave us a bigger dollar. And this, the way I handled this incident also led me to a promotion to the project lead on this particular contract as well. So all things goes well that ends well. So this was my story. Hopefully you liked it, and you also realized how you could use it in your professional journey. It's very natural that we could be throwing up code into public domain. We could be shutting down production systems. We could be sending wrong email to different people and stuff like that. We all do that mistakes. But then it takes a lot of courage to stand up and acknowledge that mistake. But you know, in short term, there will be difficult times, but then in long term, this acknowledging your mistake helps you a lot in your professional journey and builds a lot of trust. So good luck, everybody. Thank you very much for listening to my story. The next one, I'm going to bring you how you can grab an opportunity as well as make a difference to your career to speed it up. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.